Hi everyone, and welcome back to this second video about how we can use electrical engineering concepts to learn something that we can be useful in our social life. And our video today is called Check Your Communication System. So any electrical engineer understand that any communication system is basically composed of three different parts. The first one is the sender, from where the signal is transmitted or sent. The second one is the channel, the medium through which you are sending your signal from the sender until it is reached to the receiver. So the channel could be a wireless communication, it could be just a wire, and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, so that is communication system in the context of electrical engineering. Now we will try to apply this concept to the communication between two people, which is basically someone is talking and someone is listening, and how sometimes this communication becomes completely ineffective, and how sometimes this communication can lead to argument, sometimes leading to fight, and so on and so forth. So let's try to use our basic understanding of communication signals whenever there is a defect in the system from the sender side or from the channel, so that we can have an effective communication system. Let's use this knowledge and apply it to our life and how we can learn from that. So the first problem that we might encounter in communication system is a noisy signal. A signal that has a lot of noise, that you become very hard for you to really understand the signal or extract the useful information from this noisy signal. And this noise can come basically from the sender, from the sending side, or through the channel. Some interferences comes until this is the signal that you are receiving. Okay. Now the analogy for that for in our communication, when there is a fight, when there is an argument, when there is a shouting between the sender and the receiver, so you can look to this at a sort of noise. So how we deal with noise in electrical engineering? Basically, we apply filters, because this signal is not useful to us. When we filter it, when we take out the noise, then we will reach to a good clean signal that we can extract the information from it. But it's not that simple or straightforward. I will classify the types of noise in the human communications in two types, and then we'll see how to handle each one. But again, I will use always the communication system electrical engineering as my starting point. So imagine that this is my original signal. And this original signal is basically composed of three frequency components: 1 hertz, 5 hertz, and 40 hertz. Now, the useful information is this. This is what I want to extract. And this signal both are noise added to the signal. I don't want that. Okay, so basically what to do, how we handle this to extract the useful information. And here this blue signal is my signal at 1 hertz, and these are the noises that are superimposed on it. Basic, so low pass filter. So if we use a low pass filter with a cut frequency somewhere here, okay, then I will extract this information and I will reject all these noises. Very simple. Okay. Now, what is an example of a human communication that requires simple low pass filter? If someone is shouting, if someone is shouting, screaming at you, then that is noise added to the signal. Now, this person might be in pain. This person might be under stress, not necessarily from you, could be from some other resources. As we know, in our life there are many sources of stress. Okay, so that person start to express this anger inside himself or herself as shouting. What you should do now, so to avoid having a complete miscommunication between the two, again, apply a simple low pass filter. Just take out the noise from the discussion as if it doesn't exist. This shouting, this screaming, Pretend that doesn't exist and try to extract the information from that person so that you will really understand his or her message. Sometimes the noise is not that simple. The frequency spectrum of the noise overlap with the original signal. So this is a signal that you are receiving, but you see the frequency spectrum is all over the place. Okay, so your signal, that the original signal, has same frequency content as the noise. So how to extract the noise? I cannot apply a simple low pass filter here, or band pass, or high pass filter. So we need to apply advanced signal processing techniques, like for example, wavelet. Wavelet is meant to be able to extract the signal whenever there is an overlap between the noise and the signal. In human communication, what is an example of this? Someone is talking to you in a very calm voice. He or she is not screaming, okay, but he's insulting you. He throwing some words that irritates you. Okay, what to do? Again, you need to apply here advanced signal processing techniques. You should not react to what that person is talking to you. Again, try to filter this, all of the insulting words or the irritating words, try to filter them. But again, now, because it's not just a high voice or screaming, it is somehow embedded. Again, try to extract this and make sure that you don't get angry, because you have an advanced system that can remove these words from what is the message that that person want to tell you. Also, sometimes the problem in the communication systems in the poor channel or in the poor communication channel. Okay, so here in your cell phone is very poor reception, so you cannot really receive the signal. The signal itself could be healthy, there is no noise on it, but because of the poor communication channel, you cannot receive a good and a clear signal. What's an example of a poor communication channel between people, especially when they are arguing? Emails. Whenever there is an argument between two people, the worst channel that can use in communication is a channel that only requires texts, emails, messages. Why is that? Because once you send the message, because of language barriers, culture barriers, you may say something the other person may not able to understand. So he or she will get an impression about what you are saying. Maybe whatever you said make them angry, and you don't really mean to say that. Then what happen? This will make the things worst. So how to handle this? The same way we handle the communication problem. In the communication problem, if there is no reception of your signal, you try to change your location and find a much better place where you have a strong signal. Same thing. Whenever there is an argument here, do not use this weak or poor communication channels. Ask for a meeting. Because once you say something, even if whatever you said, the other person misunderstand it, you can see that right away in his or her eyes, so you can explain your point. These are just few examples how we can relate from uh, a problem happened in a communication system to our human communication. But I'm quite sure you can find some other examples as well. So whenever you are arguing or even discussing with someone, make sure that the communication system between both of you is free from defects, either at the sender or at the communication channel.